And then you'd also be able to come in here and just, listen through any call recordings here. Like there's just a ton of stuff that you can leverage when it comes to making sure you're being on top of things. The best thing I can recommend to anyone that has to deal with a lot of people, like for example, being a real estate agent, the only way you succeed is if you're literally talking to like 100 people at the same time. And it's like, well, how do I freaking do that? We are implementing a lot of stuff right now, just in regards to backend. I don't know if you remember what we talked about not too long ago, but helping with like potential transfer follow-ups. We are on a system right now where in the CRM, you will basically be able to tag a lead as like transfer expired or stale transfer. We're gonna pre-build out some automations, like a really, really cool reactivation sequence that even leverages like ChatGPT to negate like positive to negative language and stuff, and kind of like really help follow up with texts and emails, and then also have our team potentially go in there. We don't know if we're going to have it be the exact same team that does the initial ISA calls, or if we're maybe going to bring in some reps that are a bit more skilled, that because the volume is going to be a lot less, we can actually have some super high skilled individuals in there that maybe even have previous like real estate experience to go in and really help like follow up with those live transfer calls, and like make some calls here and there and communicate with these people. That's something that we're working on right now. Other than that, nothing too crazy in regards to your account specifically. Nothing either. I know we're just kind of right now, it's really just a matter of just getting on your feet, like just really stabilizing everything, which by the way, like if you need any help with that or have any questions or ideas, we can definitely help with that 100%. I know your ads are off right now. So honestly, just whenever you let us know, we can definitely get those back on. Even if it's a matter of turning them back on and cut, like, dude, your leads have been crushing it since day one. So even if it's just a matter of you can cut your lead cost in half and still be getting plenty of leads, to be honest. So just completely up to you and your situation and how you've been kind of feeling. But yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy. Just really just trying to maintain. Now that we have a crap ton of data now. You have a lot of experience taking these calls. I'm sure you've been building out a lot of systems on your end in regards to just how do I convert these, nurture these, convert these people? What kind of text flows? Like, do I need an assistant? Text message automations, email automations? How much? Like, where can I provide as much?
I've been actually looking into that a little bit. So I'm glad you brought that up because yes, I've been looking into more automation because like now that I have because I have like somebody under contract now, and it's like, okay, well, great, I have somebody under contract, and we're like in the inspection period, but it's a little time consuming. So now I'm missing calls, and my backup is doing a good job. He's doing what he can, but it's like even just the follow up text sometimes it's like by the time I get ready to follow up and finish, it's like, oh shit, man, it's the end of the day, and by then you can't text somebody at like 10 p.m. and expect to get a response, or even they're like, well, shit, he don't care. He texted me the last part of the day, So yeah, I've been figuring out how I can use AI to my advantage too to do some automation stuff. So that way, at least then it's doing something that's kind of helping the deal flow, a little bit better.
Yeah, 100%. And like, if you ever need any help building anything custom out, like in HighLevel, the whole point of us really bringing everyone's account individually is so we can help you guys build this stuff for your guys' businesses specifically. Like, for example, when our team, we are doing like some cold email strategies. When we get a cold email reply, our team calls them up, and then when they call them up, they do like a discovery phase now. So it's a bit of a different sales process than you originally went through when you came on board with us. We now have a team that does an intro call for 15, 20 minutes over the phone, figures out what's going on with the business, if we might be able to potentially help. And then on that call, we get a few things that they're struggling with. Let's say lead flow or lead quality, or maybe not having enough time. What we'll actually do is fill out a form with those problems, and it'll email them solutions to those problems. It'll generate them with ChatGPT. And if we already have partners in the past that have had similar problems, we'll be like, Jerome was also a newer age, like things like that, like where we could be like, he was also, didn't have as much lead flow, XYZ. You could probably do something similar where when you get someone under contract, you could fill out a form with like a lot of their details. So when you do have the AI, or when you do send these automations, it doesn't seem fake because you filled out details of the specific person, exactly what they're looking for, the type of deal it is, the price point, the location, like the whole 9 yards. So when you do a follow-up, like, hey, it's Jerome, how and they're like, good, how you could like have an automation fire thing, just anything that you need. Automation gets harder the further down the funnel one is, because
Yeah.
they think they're talking to a bot when they're close to the close, or they're not talking to you specifically. It's like, what the heck? Like, this is like kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
put in an effort, they think, but it's like they don't understand like how busy you actually are 24/7 and how many people you're trying to help. So it does get a little tricky because when you get close to the closing table, people like to think that they're talking to,
Yeah, you want
a
to know
real
information
you.
first. Yeah, no, I agree with that. But what I found is just like just keeping people hot. Of okay, hey, you're just interested in the market. Here's what's going on in the market. Or some people are like, or some of the leads are like, well, once we start having conversations, like, look what I'm looking for. Okay, perfect. Like for example, there was a guy named Chris, and like he was like on the live transfer, he was already contentious, but his biggest thing was he was trying to do it himself. I'm like, well, let me help you. I'm like, I can do a lot of this work for you because I have more access than you do as a regular person. He's like, all right, but then he's a little bit of a know-it-all. So like so as a result, he's like, well, I can do this because he thinks because he sells insurance, he can do real estate. I'm like, all right, whatever. But either way, but what it boiled down to, it was like he wanted to know more about the properties more so and just get more information. Like that's a perfect automation, thing of
Yeah,
like, you know, as opposed to me calling him. It's like, hey, here, you want more information on this property? Yeah, definitely. Let me know. Boom, and then get it.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can do a ton of stuff. Are you familiar with like
Uh-uh.
No, they're basically automation tools. You can do a lot in high level, and I know you have KV Core, right, or Command.
Oh, we have command. Yeah,
Also, yeah, you can do a lot of automations those with third-party softwares like May, which there's probably two for real estate. There's probably some other apps out there for like, like you said, like some super in-depth, maybe like MLS like stuff, or I don't know. Command probably has some crazy stuff for that too. Being real,
you gotta pick a day.
yeah, because you could definitely automate that. I wonder what we could do on our end to potentially help with that. Like anything that's needed with maybe like some automation, if it's simple like text and email stuff, that's not too
Yeah,
big of an issue. The hard
yeah.
part is when it gets getting super specific. That's when
Oh,
when
sure.
the
Like
yeah.
it'd be like so. For example, there's another person I met or that's interested. She wants to do a rental, but it's like just following up. Like, look, lady, I like me taking time out of my day to follow up, make sure she did it. I'm like, well, because I like a part of it is like, okay, if I could automate the follow up, that'd be good. Or but then
Yeah.
that or even just a quick hey, what do we like? Hey, check back with this person in 2 weeks in automation. Not 2 weeks. Check back with this person in 2 days or whatever, based on the timeline. Just to make sure they stay on course of getting things done.
Yeah.
Because I think
Yeah.
that's things I've been finding is as I've been working this deal under contract and try to get it to the closing table, it's a little hard at times to go back to somebody else and just say, okay, well, where are we at with this and how do we,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I definitely see what you're talking about. Have you seen the task in high level, the tasking
Yeah, I have.
system?
I gotta use that better.
Yeah, the tasking system is great. And also too, if you want to take a day or even like we can collaborate on this, but also too with the live transfers, because we have all those transfer details, you could honestly whip up some pretty cool stuff also. So like if I just go to your account here, let's just say Chrome. If I come to your account here, we go to automation,
Yeah.
and then let's go to refresh. We'll just make a new folder. We'll call it a or create folder. Custom partner workflows. And what we could do in here, create workflow, start from scratch. We could even have like we could make a tag that is contact tag. Tag added is let's call it um, call it. We'll just say dead transfers. What we'll call it. dead live transfer, add new tag. So we'll call this, tagged dead live transfer. What's super cool is we can have it tag dead live transfer, and then we can have this wait for business hours. So, just in case let's say you're working on a Sunday and you're like, okay, I want to go through and I want to tag all these people dead live transfer, but I don't want them getting texts when I do that because it's a Sunday night and I want them to maybe get it tomorrow morning or something. You can come in here and use automation too. And also too, we can even help you in class for biz hours. So we can do time delay, wait Monday through. What was that?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. There were 3 I had this week that I missed because I was either doing I was doing an inspection, and through I text them, but I haven't been able to get any responses back. So it'd be good to like to do something like that, try to get just to re-spark them, because one was looking to buy and or sell, and then the other one.
Yeah, 100%. So like what I would recommend too is like you can probably do a lot of this stuff too in command, but if you want it to be really integrative where we can help and everything, you could have something like this where it's like tag dead live transfer waits here, and then we could even have like you could have a text that goes out that says, hey, contact first name, because we can customize these texts, of course, with these like tags here. You can see these brackets where it's contact first name. It's Jerome with, what's the broker's name?
William Central.
Becomes Central here. And, I'm just doing a little, there's a way where you can pull the day that they came in through the lead form, for example.
Okay.
So we could just put in there, we had a chat on date. Are you still looking for and then since our ISAs pull like the, type of property they're looking for, we do like single family home, like stuff like that. We could even do, are you still looking for we could even do place, but you could go in and touch up this data in a spreadsheet or something, but just to be, make sure that the text actually is congruent. Are you still looking for a place in? And then you could even put in here like the specific market that they were looking in that the ISAs put in the live transfer form. Like I said, sometimes the ISAs type stuff differently, so it wouldn't be perfect in the text. What I would recommend is you could go.
You could say something blanket like South Florida, or even like in a Tri-County area or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And what I would do too is you want to make it super specific to them so that they reply. So like you could say, like you said, in the South Florida area, are you still looking around price range? And then you can input the price point that the ISA is collected on the live transfer, because then they'll be like, yeah, because the more tailored you can be with these texts, like when you're doing these text messages, you literally want to be like, if you do it manually, it's easy because you just look at the transfer notes and say, hey, it's Jerome. You had a call with my team on date. You're looking for this around this price point. You're about this far out. Would love to help with that. Like you can do your offer or whatnot. But when you send a really tailored text like that, they're like, oh, I must have talked to this person's team at some point. How does he know all this? He knows my price point. He knows the location I'm interested in. It's much different than saying, hey, we talked last week. I know you're looking in the South Florida area. It's like that's very broad stuff. But if you tell them like the exact markets they were looking at, type of property, price point, motivation, you were looking to be closer to work, you were looking to relocate, you were looking to downsize. When you have these notes from the ISAs, when you can leverage that stuff, it's huge, especially for these like dead live transfer automations, because these are people that we have a lot of details on. And so that's like something you could do, is where we could set up some automation like this for you, where it's, tag dead live transfer, come in here, like build this stuff out. And then you can even set it up, for example, which is super, super cool, is you can do a wait, and then you can do wait until they reply. So we want to wait one to see if they reply to that SMS. If they did reply here, we can notify you. So send internal notification. It can text you and say, hey, lead replied to dead live transfer automation. Go reach out to them ASAP. We can even notify you. And then if they time out, so we can definitely sit down. Like if you want to throw like maybe an hour and a half on the calendar, maybe sometime like next week, like we can literally sit down and like build this out.
Can we do it Tuesday afternoon?
Would you maybe have any time after like 5?
So I could do like 6 if that works for you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah, that works perfectly. I can throw us down for like an hour and a half, or we'll do like an hour 15, and we can go in and just like build something out for you where if you have these live transfers that have like not said anything, they've not done anything within like the last 3-4 weeks, you can just tag them deadline transfer, and then they'll go through like an entire workflow. I mean, you can have this, go up to like as long as you want. You can go like hit them really hard for 2 weeks. You can hit them really hard for 2 weeks, and then a little bit for another 2 weeks. You can hit them hard for 4 weeks. Like you can do whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
And then I'll run you over how to create like these automations. So like at any point in time, if you ever want to go in and change a message, change the way that we're saying an email, or even make it longer, make it shorter, you can do that. So we could definitely run over
That'd be
that.
great. Yeah.
Cool. Just sent that over. But yeah, so
Okay.
there's a whole bunch of crazy cool stuff that you can do within HighLevel, for sure, which is super, super cool. We also too, like you can even automate stuff as much as like if you have this deals pipeline here,
Yeah.
you can have an automation that triggers when you like connect with someone, like in these pipeline stages, for example. Like you
Yeah.
can set up an automation trigger that says, if lead is moved to connected, send them a text that says, hey, it was great chatting with you. Here's my website. Here's my
Great.
business card.
Great.
Now, obviously, you have to be careful with this stuff because you don't want them to, think it's an automated bot after they just had a really, really amazing conversation with you, or
Right.
potentially kill this lead. Same thing with, appointment held. We could, hey, amazing chatting with you,
Yeah.
and getting to know your business. Exactly. Doc signed, showing/listed, offer accepted, all that stuff. And we can even create like different pipelines if you're like, this doesn't really have everything that I need in it. Same thing for like conversations. Like if someone sends an inbound text or an inbound call, has an inbound call, we can notify you, everything A to Z. We also have a reporting tab inside HighLevel, which I don't know if you knew, but you can come in here and check like the call report too to see like how many calls the team is making on your behalf. So
Yeah.
for example, if we look at this week so far, Monday through Friday, and we go to outgoing, it looks like the team has made about 266 dials on your account so far this week. And then you'd also be able to come in here and just, listen through any call recordings here. Like there's just a ton of stuff that you can leverage when it comes to making sure you're being on top of things. The best thing I can recommend to anyone that has to deal with a lot of people, like for example, being a real estate agent, the only way you succeed is if you're literally talking to like 100 people at the same time. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
how do I freaking do that when I literally just like, I can't keep track of more than 5 conversations at once because like I obviously know this, like it gets hard. Like we're constantly holding like 20, 30, 40 conversation with agents at the same time. It's like it would be impossible for us to do that if we did not have a really, really dialed in system with GoHighLevel. And so anything that you need with this, like we'll be able to build it out. We just need to make sure we're not wasting our time, and what we do build out is something that is like actually going to be helpful and beneficial for
Yeah.
you. So if we hop
Yeah.
on a call and work on it together, that would. Yeah, other than that, we also are trying to track as much data as possible too. So if I come to your account here, if we look at this month so far, it looks like we've generated about 66 leads. Ad spend's about 297, cost per lead about 450 each. Lead to live transfer rate seems about, well, that's not right. Let's see if we refresh the data here. For some reason it says 0 outbound dials on your account. I'll have to look into that one. Lead to live transfer rate is like 24%, it looks like. Total transfers initiated, it looks like we're looking at maybe 15 or 16, if that sounds right. And for some reason, the speed to lead is a little messed up. Looks like we've been able to get you looks like you've picked up about, half the transfers that have been able to come over or that we've attempted to initiate. And then we've been able to book about 88% of those in for a potential callback time, which by the way, I did see that you were using HighLevel where it was one where we booked them in for a follow-up and then you actually called in HighLevel. I saw that. So if you ever use in HighLevel for that, that's great too, because if you ever have a question like, hey, Mason, let me know, how we could improve this call. It should be recorded in HighLevel. It's just an amazing way to just collaborate, make sure everyone's on the same page. But I want to
Yeah.
check in here and see why.
Because usually sometimes I'm on the go, so it's easy to get in the lead app and say, oh, and look at the notes and oh, okay, let me just call this person now. Because there's times where I'm just sitting at like for example, there's I might be sitting in an inspection or something. I can step away and and try to catch up or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah. I want to see here why exactly your outbound dials aren't tracking here though. So let's see. Let's go to partner stats. The simple stuff like that sometimes, Jerome, that literally messes it up. But it looks like there might be a space after this.
Oh.
So it might not be pulling the exact name. Let's see if I go to, so it looks like there's a space there when that's pulling in. So I wonder, this is probably an issue in the account name, Jerome. If we go to settings, we go to your business profile. Yep, there's a space right there at the end of that. Let's delete that, update information, and then what you need to do.
Oh yeah, that's right. There you go. The Excel hack. There you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty tech savvy, but sometimes I'll hop on calls with people and they blow my mind. I'm like, gosh, like you must work so quick knowing that stuff.
Right.
Refresh data. Boom, there we are. Okay, so
Yeah.
far this month it looks like about 102 or 1,020 dials have been made outwards to your account. So that helps us with our pickup percentage and all those numbers. Now looks like we have speed to lead here. So if we go to our speed to lead stats, probably same exact issue here. If we filter, boom, clear Jerome. We probably got a space at the end of this. Yep, gonna get rid of that. Oh, looks like we had a 60-minute here. That must have been, yeah, that's not right. The lead came in on the 9th. It's saying we called it on the 20th. I think that's probably just like a system bug. 32 minutes, 35 minutes. The rest is pretty fast. Those are probably skewing the data a little bit. Yeah, honestly, we can keep that because I do want the data to be as accurate as possible. But it looks like we had, one lead come in that it took us 32 minutes to call them. One lead came in that took us 35 minutes to call them. So skewing the data a tad bit, but I got rid of that 60-minute one because it was like from the 9th to like today. Like that's just completely wrong. But it looks like, speed to lead time, even with those couple being above 30 minutes on average, is still below 5 minutes, which is really, really good. That's really one of the main like primary benefits of us is just being in. You probably see it in the CRM when you go in there. Like we're constantly just calling, texting, responding to emails.
Yeah, but I just look at the notes and everything. Like it's good to have the notes where it says the appointments because I see that they have callbacks. I'm like, oh okay. And then like I said, I have the lead app on here, so I get a pop. It pops up every time, says when they text them and everything. So I know everybody's doing their job. I know the leads will come through. I just got and like when it gets, I just got when it gets to me, I got to make sure I'm staying on top of it and do. And then like I said, doing some automations that help the cause because like I said, this transaction I'm is that I'm under contract with. It's interesting. It's been very very interesting. We had extended inspection period and all kind of stuff. So
Wow. Yeah, I think it's good that you just like understand like all this, like the automation and everything. Like you get a lot of agents that think they have to do like everything themselves, and it's just you overload, and it's like automate, delegate. Like AI is only getting more advanced.
Yep.
Exactly. You know how it works.
Yeah. No, the more I can get it, the better. Because there's a streamline, there's a process. I want to make sure I streamline my process as best as possible, so I not only serve people well, but at the same time that everything is taken care of, and there's nothing in there that's falling in the cracks.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like that's one of the biggest things. Like if you genuinely are a good agent and you really believe in your service and giving people a good experience, like you're gonna want to help as much people as possible. And you can't do that if you're a one-man show. Like that's something we tell all of our partners is like, do you believe in what you do? Do you like guiding people through the home buying and selling process? Do you feel like it's a good experience? Do you have good relationships? Well, then great. Why wouldn't you want to help as many people as possible? You can't do that when you just stick to people who are only in your sphere and your database and stuff that only know you. Get out there and help some strangers. And also too, once you figure out how to convert strangers, you're like unstoppable at that point. Like because then the whole market opens up. It's like you can like there's so many people you probably talk to on your team and just day to day. It's like they could never ever convert a stranger that doesn't know, like, and already trust them. They don't even know, like, have emails in place on their KV core or follow-up systems. And so it's really, really good. I think it's a game changer, and seeing how you've also been able to adjust and adapt and build quickly has also been amazing. And just persevere, be resourceful. And so it's just been a great partner, and we're excited to just continue building for you, because that's really what you should see us as, is just an asset. Because again, we are building all of this to help you and for you, like complete, just like this, for example, like completely down to hop on a Tuesday, build some systems out for you that could potentially help you earn more business. And it's like going to be completely custom to you, and you get to keep and everything. And it's just, we love it. So
Works out well. All right. Well, that's all I
Cool.
have, Mason. I don't know if you have any.
Cool. Sounds good. Right now, we're also working on a way to shoot over like either like a weekly, a bi-weekly, or some sort of monthly report of those numbers I was just showing you with like the new leads in, the speed to lead. We're working on making sure that that data is 100% accurate, but we think that could be super helpful as well. Maybe emailing over like a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly report of numbers, new leads in, live train. I got to run from you here. I know you're busy too, driving around and everything. Good luck if you have any other meetings going on, and we'll take it from
Yep.
there. If you need absolutely anything, just let me know. And you said, just to double confirm, we're good to auto bill. You want to use that Chase bank account that you attached on that
Yep.
last one?
Yep.
Okay,
Correct.
perfect.
Yep.
We'll use that every 3 days. We'll just build 2 transfers, and if something comes
Correct.
up or you need us to
Yep.
stop, just let us know.
We'll do. Yep. And then and I'll keep getting money in there.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good, Jerome. Have a
All right.
good rest of your week, Memorial weekend, and we'll chat
Thanks.
later.
You too.